got into it on social media around that time. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or
Man, I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like I really don't like him. That's like
just not your cup of tea. That's just not your.
I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like he just one of these little arrogant little dudes.
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis have never been close, and things really heated up last month when the two boxing champions clashed on social media. What started as comments about the prestigious Ring Magazine awards quickly escalated into something much more personal. Both men are at the top of their divisions, but it's unlikely they'll ever fight each other as they're in different weight classes. That hasn't stopped them from throwing jabs online, though. Crawford's dislike for Davis goes beyond just one social media exchange. He's been holding in his feelings for a while and is finally letting them all out.
And what y'all? Come on, man. Tell me what belt. You know boxing. You forgot Devin Haney is undisputed. Devin Haney got all the belts. He the champ. Nobody else the champ. I'm gonna come up here where the big boys at. All right, I'll welcome.
Gervonta Davis, known for his fiery temper and aggressive style, wasn't about to let Terence Crawford's comments slide. Davis is gearing up to defend his WBA lightweight title on March 1st against Lamont Roach. But he's always ready to throw in his own 2 cents, even with a fight on the horizon. On the other hand, Crawford is focused on his much-anticipated fight with Canelo Alvarez. A win for Crawford could solidify his reputation, but despite his focus on Canelo, Crawford didn't hesitate to take a shot at Davis whenever the opportunity came up.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly footwork from what I see.
Great.
You will fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
You got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him come and touch it.
Wow. Gervonta said you got a glass.
In a recent interview on Cigar Talk, Terence Crawford didn't hold back when talking about Gervonta Davis. The discussion turned to Davis's habit of only moving up in weight classes and carefully choosing his opponents. When asked if their online feud was just typical trash talk between athletes from different sports, Crawford made it clear that it was personal. "No, I just really don't like that dude," Crawford said. "I just don't like him. I mean, I don't like him at all. There's nothing I like about him." Crawford's tone left no room for doubt. He wasn't trying to soften his words or offer any diplomatic response.
He is just kind of his posture.
So I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
147? Shit, I tap that chain, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know he
ain't
is.
got no chance.
I already know he is.
Said no chance.
I got round 5.
Shit, I got round 6.
Crawford didn't hold back when talking about Davis, calling him an arrogant little dude who hides behind his money. He pointed out that Davis always has a lot of security around him and is well aware of the attention he gets. Crawford's comment was sharp, suggesting that Davis wouldn't act the same way if he didn't have his entourage to protect him. Essentially, Crawford was accusing Davis of using his public persona as a shield, critiquing the image that Davis has built over the years.
Misses these shots, right? But
what he got to shield him. Like, he got a lot of security guards around him, and he know, he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but
despite Crawford's clear dislike for Davis's personality, he still acknowledged Davis's skill as a fighter. He admitted, "He's a good fighter. I respect him as a fighter." Crawford even praised Davis for having power and great boxing ability. However, Crawford made it clear that he didn't respect Davis's overall personality or approach. Davis didn't hold back in response. He took a shot at Crawford, saying, "He's talking like he's the best in the sport, but he's still out here begging for a big payday against Canelo." Davis implied that Crawford was chasing the Canelo fight for money and recognition, suggesting that even top fighters need a high-profile opponent like Canelo to truly validate their careers. This back and forth wasn't the end of the tension between Crawford and Davis, though. Another name has been adding fuel to the fire: Shakur Stevenson. The 27-year-old fighter is being mentioned as a potential future opponent for Davis. While they haven't faced off in the ring yet, fans are already excited about the possibility. Crawford, who is close friends with Stevenson, made it clear that he's firmly backing him in any potential matchup.
I compared him to Deontay Wilder. Wilder learned to counterpunch. My problem is that there's...
Like I was telling Buzz, it's either you or Kesan's gonna get tanked, so the walls are closing in, so... Awesome.
It's gonna be him, though.
It makes sense. He's closer.
Big brother learn.
Absolutely.
Crawford made it clear that when it comes to boxing, Davis has the talent and recognition, but he's not letting personal feelings get in the way of his analysis. He gave Davis credit for being talented, but then turned his focus to Shakur Stevenson. According to Crawford, Stevenson is on a different level. That's high praise from someone who doesn't easily hand out compliments. Crawford broke down why he believes Stevenson would beat Davis. While some critics might label Stevenson as boring or question his punching power, Crawford pointed out that similar things were said about Floyd Mayweather. He compared Stevenson's defensive skills to Mayweather's, suggesting that Stevenson's ability to avoid damage and outsmart his opponents could neutralize Davis's knockout power. It's a strong comparison, especially given Mayweather's nearly flawless career and expertise in defensive boxing. Crawford feels that Stevenson's defense is the key to overcoming Davis.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Who that?
The Kesan looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Kesan haven't even done nothing.
Tank Davis is not going to have an easy time with Shakur Stevenson, and he knows it, according to Crawford. This is a bold statement, especially considering Davis's reputation as one of boxing's most dangerous knockout artists. Davis typically overwhelms his opponents with his explosive power, but Crawford believes that Stevenson's technical skill will frustrate him in the ring. Crawford's strong loyalty to Stevenson only adds more fuel to his ongoing feud with Davis. This isn't just about boxing, it's about pride, loyalty, and proving who's the best. As for Davis, he'll likely see Crawford's comments as another challenge to his dominance. If Davis and Stevenson do eventually face off, you can bet the build-up to that fight will be one of the most intense in recent boxing history.
Chances, if you somehow miss, if he misses, what next?
When I see and I go read like little stuff about it, they really be debating. It don't be like, oh, Tank is gonna destroy this guy and all everybody is saying it. No, that shit be like real debates, like, no, this Shakur, this, that. And then not only that, now you see Shakur moving up in weight, he's filling out, he's dropping this dude.
The rivalry between Terence Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis is more than just a clash of egos. It's a mix of personal dislike and business competition. Crawford's criticisms of Tank go beyond typical trash talk. He seems genuinely disgusted by Tank's personality and the way he presents himself. On the other hand, Davis isn't shy about responding with sharp remarks of his own, accusing Crawford of being desperate for respect. It doesn't look like this war of words will end anytime soon. Both men are too proud and too competitive to back down. Davis is focused on defending his title, but you can bet he's keeping an eye on what Crawford has to say. Even with Crawford's big fight against Canelo coming up, he doesn't seem ready to let go of this beef just yet.
And they've all been heavy. Tank Davis, that's his nickname, Tank. Another good...
Any talks with Tank's team?
They reached out, but we told them to come back with an offer. And as far as that, we ain't hear nothing since then. Me and him fighting each other, we'll seal the deal on the kings of that division.
Whether or not Gervonta Tank Davis and Terence Crawford ever share a room again remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. This rivalry has already given the boxing world plenty of drama. Fans and analysts will be keeping a close eye on what happens next. It's interesting, though, how Tank accused Crawford of chasing money with his fight against Canelo Alvarez, when Tank himself is clearly eyeing a massive payday in Saudi Arabia for a potential fight with Devin Haney. Tank's recent comments about fighting in Saudi Arabia make it clear that he's not just interested in boxing, but in the luxury lifestyle that comes with it. He's talking about buying Ferraris, 2, 3, or maybe 4 of them. While Crawford's move to fight Canelo in Riyadh is seen as a legacy-defining challenge, Davis's approach seems more like a negotiation for his own fantasy shopping spree. Tank's desire to strike a deal with Turki Alik, the man behind bringing major boxing events to Saudi Arabia, is already stirring up controversy. In a recent interview on the Safe Place podcast, Tank made his demands clear. If he's going to fight Haney in Saudi Arabia, the price has to be sky high. He explained, "They said I would fight Devin, and then they said Devin was their chosen one. So now they have to pay me extra, because I already know what I'm going for." His message was loud and clear. If Haney is being treated as the favorite of Saudi boxing, Tank isn't going to step into what he sees as the lion's den without getting a hefty payout first.
Left-hander, heavy-handed, as you said.
Obviously, you and Tank, and that's something that I feel like has built up for years.
Yeah, I mean, the fight has been built up for years, and at the end of the day, if he could want the fight, he could have the fight because he's the WB fake champion. He's not the, he's just Mickey Mouse belt. Mickey Mouse belt.
Davis's comments also suggest that he doesn't trust how boxing decisions are made when big money and powerful people are involved. He openly accused Saudi officials of stacking the odds in Devin Haney's favor, saying, "If I don't knock him out, you're going to give the fight to him." That's not just a dig at Haney, it's a critique of the entire system. It's rare for a fighter to speak so openly about concerns over biased judging, especially when huge paychecks are on the line. What makes this even more ironic is that not long ago, Tank seemed interested in joining the wave of fighters cashing in on the Saudi boxing boom. It's a shift in his attitude that stands out, especially given his past comments.
These days, he can fight righty or lefty. Right now, he's been assaulting
Somebody asked Lomachenko.
Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready. What you think about that? Oh, Turkey said he got your 2 Ferraris ready.
I need 3 now.
Tank Davis is definitely changing his tune lately, and it's almost comical to watch. One minute he's criticizing Terence Crawford for choosing to fight in Riyadh, and the next he's demanding luxury cars and setting himself up for his own trip to the desert. Turki Alik's plan to pour massive sums of money into boxing has already attracted some of the sport's biggest stars. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk both landed record paydays for their fight series, and Canelo Alvarez's deal is reportedly so good that it makes anyone in boxing rethink their future. Tank clearly sees the potential for huge earnings, but he's framing his interest as more about gaining respect than just chasing money. Still, the line between earning respect and cashing in is starting to blur in this situation. The fact that Devin Haney's name is being brought up only adds more fuel to the fire, making the whole situation even more heated.
Impressive punches. Very fast. I'm not.
Y'all gonna give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for. Y'all got the.
Devin Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis have been on a collision course for years, with fans and analysts eagerly waiting for the moment they finally face off in the ring. However, Tank's recent comments suggest that this fight wouldn't just be about him and Haney. He seems to be preparing for a battle against the entire Saudi boxing operation. His criticisms of how fights are handled in Saudi Arabia seem to serve as both a negotiation tactic and a warning. Tank wants to make it clear that if the fight happens, he's stepping into what he sees as hostile territory, fully aware of the challenges ahead. He's letting everyone know that he won't be caught off guard.
I'd say that bad, bro. He's just impressive. The speed is phenomenal.
The Sheik mapped out Shakur's next 3 fights, and the third one is Gervonta Davis. He must be sending not the 3 Ferraris that your boy wanted. He probably gonna send him a couple Ferrari mechanics so they can build him his own Ferrari factory.
He was being sarcastic, like he said, because, Turkey was already with Devin. He was making it seem like he was...
Despite all the bravado and posturing, Davis did give a small nod of appreciation to Turki Alik. He said he's thankful for the money Alik has invested in him. However, even that praise came with a condition. Tank mentioned that managers need to be smarter and have a better understanding of the sport to ensure that fights are fair. This comment is likely to stir up more controversy in a sport where money often has a big influence on the outcome. Essentially, Tank is calling for more transparency while still making it clear he wants enough cash to buy out a Ferrari dealership. It's a bold stance, balancing calls for fairness with a demand for big payouts.
Phenomenal. He really taught himself a sense of...
You don't want to be someone like Devin, talk all that trash and then overlook my opponent and then get knocked out.
Tank, Martin was really confident in this press conference today that not only is he going to secure a win, but that he's going to get a knockout. How much of that do you think is...
Then there's the question of whether Davis really believes Devin Haney is the favorite in the eyes of Saudi organizers. By calling Haney their chosen one, Tank might be setting up a way to downplay any potential loss before the fight even happens. This is a classic move in boxing, undermining your opponent's support so that, win or lose, you come out looking like the hero. But it's also a risky move. If Tank ends up fighting Haney in Saudi Arabia and doesn't get the knockout he's predicting, his words could come back to haunt him. The boxing world has always been filled with drama, but Tank's latest comments bring it to a whole new level. He's not just negotiating a fight, he's negotiating the story he wants to tell.
When they land 1 for 1, the power edge is to Davis. I think he has some cover.
I'm being real. So hold on. Yeah. When you look at Devin Haney's situation when he went to go sue Ryan Garcia, is that you?
Yeah, bitch.
Okay, cool. So
Terence Crawford didn't hold back when talking about Gervonta "Tank" Davis's chances against Shakur Stevenson or Kesan Davis. He straight up said that Tank would face his first loss if he fought either of them. That's a bold statement, especially considering Tank's undefeated record and his reputation for knockout power. But Crawford isn't just talking for the sake of it. He's been in the ring with top fighters, and he's seen Kesan's skills firsthand when he dominated any Baroni. For Crawford, Tank's knockouts alone won't be enough to beat fighters who are as mentally tough and smart as Shakur and Kesan.
Another good left hand. His last 2 fights have lasted less than a round.
I'm gonna fight Tank. Stop mentioning other people when I mention your fight. What you talking about, boy? Like, don't play with me, bro. Y'all know how I'm coming. Tank, if you wanna fight, send me a contract, bro. Tank, you know.
Kesan Davis is sounding just as confident, even comparing a potential fight with Tank to the dominant performance Terence Crawford had against Errol Spence Jr. last year. That's not just confidence, it's a bold statement, almost like a declaration of war. Kesan believes he's smarter and sharper, both inside and outside the ring. He's not impressed with Tank's power, saying that all Tank has is his one-punch knockout ability. Kesan is convinced that he's already a better fighter than what the world has seen from him so far. That kind of talk is putting serious pressure on Tank to step up and prove he can handle a fighter like Kesan.
Kesan the one that can crack their Gervonta code?
Gervonta can be beat easily, man.
Ooh.
Yeah, we hear you say he could be beat easily. Why?
Yeah, he could be beat easily because he's just a basic type of dude with a lot of power. If you know boxing like I know boxing, you can take away that power from you. You know what I'm saying? Young fella.
Then there's Shakur Stevenson, who has been calling out Tank Davis for what feels like forever. He's fed up. The way he talks makes it clear that he doesn't believe Tank has any real intention of stepping into the ring with him. Shakur doesn't hold back, calling Tank a weird person and saying he doesn't respect him. If that's not motivation for a future fight, I don't know what is. Shakur also pointed out that Turkey Elite could easily fund this fight, essentially daring Tank to take the deal. The ball is now in Tank's court and Shakur knows it. He's putting the pressure on, making it clear that it's up to Tank to step up and accept the challenge.
Strong right hand of the body and another left hand of the body. It's 4 punches thrown. They've all been.
I thought he was a tremendous talent. I still think he is. And I think he'll beat any lightweight with the possible exception of Kesan Davis.
That's a fight we probably will never see, huh?
That's neither guy wants to.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is facing his next big test on March 1st in Brooklyn when he goes up against Lamont Roach. All eyes will be on this fight as it could set the stage for what happens next in Tank's career. If he dominates Roach, the pressure will increase for him to finally take on one of the division's champions. On top of that, Vasyl Lomachenko is back in the mix. Tank's team actually reached out to Loma last year, but he was taking a break from boxing at the time. Now that Loma is back, he looks like a possible target for Tank. A fight between the two would be huge, given Lomachenko's incredible skills and his reputation as one of the top fighters in the world when he's at his best. It's a matchup that could capture the attention of boxing fans everywhere.
These days, he can fight righty or lefty. Right now, he's been solely left-handed.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at night.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a night? You know that power curry late.
There's another layer to this whole situation when it comes to Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He's been pretty open about his desire for big paydays. He even discussed negotiating with promoter Turkey Elite to fight in Saudi Arabia, making demands like getting at least 4 Ferraris before considering any deal. While some might think this is just Tank being Tank, others see it as a sign that the game is changing. Saudi Arabia's deep pockets are starting to shift the power dynamics in boxing, and Tank is clearly aware of this. He's playing hardball, and with so much money on the table, who's to say Turkey won't meet his demands? But here's where the irony comes in. Not too long ago, Tank threw shade at Terence Crawford, accusing him of chasing money. Yet now, Tank is publicly holding out for luxury cars and huge paydays. It's a bit of a pot calling the kettle black situation. The difference, though, is that Crawford has already proven himself at the highest level, beating Errol Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champion. Tank, despite all his knockouts and pay-per-view success, hasn't yet unified the lightweight division. Fans are starting to expect more than just big talk. They want legacy-building fights. Shakur Stevenson has also weighed in, and his words hit a nerve. He pointed out that Tank has been fighting guys who aren't strong enough to last all 12 rounds with him. It's a tough critique, and whether it's fair or not, it's something Tank will have to deal with until he shows otherwise. Facing top-level fighters like Shakur, Kesan Davis, or even Lamont Roach would do a lot to silence the doubters. These are fighters with great skills, high ring IQ, and the mental toughness to handle whatever Tank throws at them. Shakur's frustrations are understandable. He's one of the brightest young stars in boxing and has been calling out Tank for years, but hasn't gotten a response. Shakur's made it clear he doesn't have the financial power to send Tank an offer, but Turkey League does. By putting the ball in Tank's court and making him choose whether to accept a fight in Saudi Arabia, Shakur is basically forcing Tank to step up. The question now is, will he take the challenge or keep dodging?
Yeah, as he follows through.
I think he was like 17. I wasn't that much older than him. I think we probably like 3 years older, apart, but I feel as though he slowed down. All that partying and drinking and stuff slowed.
3 people in the world that I think that could beat Tank. That would be Devin, that would be Shakur, and Tank Davis himself.
You got the last one right. That's the only person that could beat me. Gervonta Davis. That's the only person. Them niggas cannot touch me at all. They all been in the ring with me. They all been in the ring, and I cracked both of them. I cracked both.
The pressure is mounting on Gervonta Tank Davis as rumors continue to swirl that he's avoiding tough fights. As the lightweight division heats up, the next few months could be critical for Tank's career. With his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach, all eyes are on him. How he performs in this fight will set the stage for his future and could have a huge impact on his legacy. If he shows any signs of weakness, fighters like Shakur, Stevenson, and Kesan Davis will be quick to call him out. The pressure isn't just coming from other boxers. The fans are also growing impatient. They want to see unification bouts, and they want them now. With Saudi Arabia offering big money for these high-profile matchups, there's no excuse for them not to happen. The big question remains, is Tank willing to risk his undefeated record in pursuit of the kind of legacy that fighters like Terence Crawford, Tyson Fury, and Alexander Usyk are building? Only time will tell. One thing is clear, Tank needs to make a move soon or he could risk losing the momentum he has. Now we'll have to wait and see what happens in the Lamont Roach fight. What do you think? Do you agree with what Crawford says about Tank's personality and his resume? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.